What is that? What is the full form of an NGO? Non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, were first called such in Article 71 in the Charter of the newly formed United Nations in 1945. While NGOs have no fixed or formal definition, they are generally defined as nonprofit entities independent of government influence, although they may receive government funding. Okay, well, that's a real unclear definition of what one is. Why do NGOs exist? NGOs exist for a variety of purposes, usually to further the political or social goals of their members. Examples include improving the state of the natural environment, encouraging the observation of human rights, improving the welfare of the disadvantaged, or representing a corporate or a country's agenda. All right, that's a wide open, huge broad brush definition, huge broad brush reason for existence of it. 1945, it was put in place. All right, now there are approximately 40,000 non-governmental organizations in the world, in addition to country-based organizations, which number in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, hundreds of thousands. So NGOs are huge, and they're things that people don't hear about unless they look for them. It's just in the back, doing operations, controlling people's lives or altering people's lives. On a very small note, very small scale, or very large scale. And it's all across the board. And what are some examples of that? The WHO, World Health Organization, the directing and coordinating authority for the health within the United Nations system, responsible for providing leadership on global health matters, including shaping the health research agenda, etc., etc. There's a World Bank, which is a vital source of financial and technical assistance to developing countries around the world, fighting poverty, including instruments to improve health. There's a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, guided by the belief that every life has equal value. This is their statement. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation works to help people lead healthy, productive lives. CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, protecting America from health, safety, and security threats. All right, so it has. Where was that? I don't understand. Health, safety, and security threats. Where is it? Where's that in the title where it says Centers for Disease Control? Anyways, both foreign and in the U.S., whether diseases start at home or abroad, or chronic or acute, curable or preventable, human error or deliberate attacks, CDC fights disease and supports communities and citizens to do the same, all this fluff. There's the Sierra Club. The National Sierra Club leads on lobbying the President, Congress, and federal agencies to promote sound environmental policies. The chapter participates when federal activities affect our states, air, land, and water. Well, if you look into the Sierra Club, there's a lot more than just that little statement that they said. A lot more that they do that affects you and I, whether it's a lot or a little. Depends on where you're at in your life and what you're doing. Sierra Club, so that's just a few of these. And all these, are non-governmental organizations, government organizations that are dictating everything in people's lives, let alone the 40,000, nations in the country and the hundreds of thousands across the world. And why am I talking about this? Well, I'm talking about this because by the definition on what is an NGO, well, the Federal Reserve falls right in there. The Federal Reserve System that came about in 1913 that is known for the Federal Reserve notes that you and I are forced to use for commerce between ourselves and businesses, companies, the state for taxes, whatever else through the government. We're forced to use that. This thing that's printed and made by an NGO, a non-government organization called the Federal Reserve. So their deal is the Federal Reserve System is in the central banking system of the United States of America. It was created on September 23rd, 1913, which is actually created a few years before that. Whether it was named the Federal Reserve or not, but it wasn't implemented until December 23rd, 1913. With the enactment of the Federal Reserve Act, which was December 23rd, 1913, after a series of financial panics led to the desire for central control of the monetary system in order to alleviate financial crises. That's what they say, who the Federal Reserve is, which that's nothing but a fluff lie for the most part, except for when it was enacted. That's true. Everything else about that is just, it has no meaning, because it's coming from the NGO we know as the Federal Reserve. So why am I going with this? I said because people are controlled by this. People are controlled by this stuff. And the big problem, not the big problem, one of the big problems with this is that your tax dollars, my tax dollars, go towards these. Whether it's all of these, 40,000 or hundreds of thousands of them, or 40,000 of them directly here in the United States, your tax dollars and my tax dollars go towards them, go into them. I mean, it's sickening, because then they turn around and they control and they do things to get people to adapt, or they want you to adapt a change, or make a left turn instead of a right turn here, or do this here instead of doing this thing over here. They want you to do what they want you to do, and they're just going to keep nudging you, pushing you, guiding you, if you want to call that. That's too nice of a term. I'm sticking with pushing, I guess. Nudging and pushing you, forcefully pushing you, and some of it is forcing you to by the threat of a gun or being locked in a cage. And that comes down to almost everything. Paying penalties, paying permission to do things on your property that you bought and paid for, and you are threatened with being locked in a cage or threatened by a gun to pay tax on said property that you own outright. You own 100% of it. No one else owns it, but you still have to pay a tax on it. Think about that. And it varies from state to state. And I'm not sure on the whole things from country to country. I haven't really dove that far for this deal yet. But so I'm saying this because I just want people to be aware that they go to the ballot boxes thinking they're voting for this president, this vice president, this whoever it is, congressman, the Senate guy or gal, whatever, and that's going to change because they have said some stuff on the television or in a paper, or you heard them say some stuff on the radio, or however you saw it, or it came about, they said some stuff. And then because of that, you believe that they are going to go through with what they've said. Well, my thought of it is, if someone in politics is talking, 95% of them, if not closer to 100% of it, is nothing but a lie. It's a complete fabrication. It's just a complete lie. It's just telling you what you want to hear, so you'll vote for them, or So you'll calm down, or you won't make a ruckus, won't resist, that kind of stuff. You'll go along to get along. You won't be an outsider. You won't be a stain, out there causing other people to think differently than what they're telling you is the way it is. So I'll go back to what I was saying. You go to the ballot box and you expect a change, and you don't see it. It keeps going. I mean, it's been like this for years throughout my life. It's always the same. Some are faster, accelerated towards their goal. Some are slower, but it keeps going in the same direction. Nothing changes, nothing stops. Taxes don't end. Taxes don't stop. Taxes always continue. They get more and more and more. And then they may say, you know what, well, we're going to stop this, and that really means we're going to not keep doing it as much as we have. We're going to throttle back. That's what that means. For a little bit, and then we'll get back to what we were doing. So in my opinion, it's just my opinion, the only elections that may really matter, or probably do really matter, are your local elections, because those people are not yet, as of yet, really directly, I guess, guided or directed by these NGOs, or most of these NGOs, or the powers that be, if you want to say that, or whatever you want to say. Most of them are not like that. But they're still in there. But local, I think, are the most true form of election still, and you'll feel that directly. Whether that's through what you pay for your property taxes, whether you're going to put a stop sign down at a busy street, whether they're going to stop putting in roundabouts here and there that's causing more havoc around you when it's not needed, whatever the case may be. That you can change. That is a direct result to you by how you vote and how everyone gets together. You rally around each other. You got a cause, and then you go and the vote might change it, or calling them, or writing them letters, or meeting them, or talking to them, because you can do that at that level. That might change some stuff, and it really could. And if that happens all around, maybe it'll happen, going up the scale. But that's a lot of work, and it's a long time to get done. Not saying it's not possible, just saying it's not going to happen overnight. It's like losing weight, or saving up for a huge boat or yacht, whatever it is, a mansion, whatever your dream is, saving up for that, or whatever. You got to lose 150 pounds. You got to lose 300 pounds. Yeah, it can be done. It takes time. You start, and you're not going to see results, until some portion of the time. Then you start seeing momentum happen, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and then you start addressing this at different levels of your local ballot boxes. So I'm really not here to say, don't vote president, don't vote this or that, whatever. I just want to get people really thinking about this, because it seems like everyone talks about, well, this president's better than that one, or this one I'd vote for, and this one sucked last time, or I hope this one is running next time, whatever, for president, because president, and this president's a Republican, this president's a Democrat, and I know all about them, and their wife is so-and-so, or their husband's so-and-so, this and that. No, what you need to do is you need to not care about that. You need to learn about your local elections. You need to learn about who is so-and-so at the school board, who is so-and-so at your, mayor of your town, who is so-and-so that is under your mayor on the town, who is so-and-so of your water district, if you have that, who is so-and-so of whatever agency in your local area. That is what matters, and that is what will change. Like I said, it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen, and that will be a great change. This is not the same. The analogy's a little weak, but I just want to put it in there to get people thinking. You think about it, if you have a person who is, let's say, 200 pounds overweight, all right? And you got two of them, 200 pounds overweight. And one's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I am going to watch my diet. I'm going to start eating clean. No more sugar, no more this, no more that. And no more sitting around. I'm done watching TV. No more watching TV ever again. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to run around with my dogs. I'm going to do all this stuff. And I'm going to do that so many hours per day. I'm going to do that so many days per week. And I'm going to continue to build up, you know. And then you have another one that's like, well, no, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm going to this or that. I might try a few pills here or there that tell me I can lose weight. And I do know this person who's gotten liposuction before. So I think I'm going to go have liposuction. So the person goes and has liposuction. All right, so we'll look back at him a year later. You got the person who got liposuction. They got liposuction 6 months after this whole thing started. So 6 months in, she has, or he has, really shrunk and lost a lot of inches visually, that kind of stuff. They're not eating healthier. They've lost a lot. And the person, the guy, the gal, whatever, who is just doing it, like I had said, nutrition and the slow burn, if that's what you want to call it. And 6 months later, you can tell a dramatic change from him 6 months ago, but he's nothing compared to the other person who had liposuction. So at the 6 month realm, the person with liposuction looks like, well, they really have lost a lot. Well, now if you stretch this out another year, year and a half, 2 years, the person who got liposuction has sort of gone back because of the way she's been eating or he's been eating. And now they've gained the weight back, maybe not all of it, maybe more of it. The person who's been on their set goal, changed, lifestyle change, attitude change, now a year and a half, 2 years later, now they've lost almost completely all 200 pounds, if not all of it is gone. Now, that person who set their mind to it and did it at the ground level and worked its way up to their goal, they're better off. They got a different mindset, different mentality, different way to do things. And now they've changed. The person with liposuction, there's not really a change. Like I said, it's sort of a hard analogy, not even a good analogy, but that's what I had, top of the hat, right now. So, like voting for president, this person was president the last 4 years, the last 12 years, 4 years before that, 8 years before that, whatever. Doesn't matter. Yes, presidents can't be for 12 years. They can if, heaven forbid, the president died and they took over as vice president right away, and then they can almost serve a full 12 years. But that's another issue. Didn't mean to get off there on that tangent. But, so, worrying about who's president really doesn't matter. Worrying about your local elections really does matter. That really does matter. And if people pay attention to that, I think that is how we will start making big changes. And I don't mean this to be a political thing. I'm anything but political, but that seems like that's the thing everyone's stuck on. Really, my perspective is, let's get rid of all government, period. Who cares? No one needs them. They're just a nuisance. They're nothing but the mafia times 100, times 1,000. They're worse. That's all they are. Because they legally, I say that lightly, steal from you and I to give themselves and their friends what they have. And then they keep stealing, then they steal more, then they keep stealing more. And they steal more to convince you with propaganda to allow them to steal more. But anyways, that was a tangent that we get off on. The whole thing was about NGOs, non-government organizations. I don't know how I got on this political thing. Didn't mean to, but think about that. The ground level is where you want to be. Actually, community, in my perspective, is better. If we don't even think about government, think about your neighbors, think about people around you, think about, helping people around you. What does your community need? What do you guys want? How are the kids around your community? I mean, let's start there. And then local elections, also same time, look into it, because that matters. It directly affects your kids. It directly affects your community. Think of those things. And who cares about president or all that kind of crap? Yeah, they do stuff that affects you and I, and it sucks because every time they do anything, it's not good. It's more boot on people's throats. That's all it is. I would like that to end. Yeah, I would like that to end. And the only way to do it is to change that. Just like the people that had to lose 150, 200 pounds. So anyways, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but think about NGOs, look into them. Like I said, there's 40,000 in the United States. There's hundreds of thousands around the world, across the world, and that is paid off by you and I. Not paid fully, but a lot of it's paid off by you and I, forcefully, because it was stolen from us, given to them. But anyways, if you like this, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And stay vigilant. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your health,